Deep Chill. Deep Chill. Selections by OLSKXX.
Deep chills, deep chills. To listen again to the show and for all episodes and playlists, head to deepchillsradioshow.com. Deepchillsradioshow.com. Deep Chills, mixed and selected by OLSKXX. Get in touch on social media.
Deep Chills.
Thank you for listening.
Well, hello to you, dear listener, wherever you may be. I am in beautiful late May Helsinki recording this on my balcony which is why you may be hearing some ambient sounds in the background, birds chirping away, or in the case of seagulls, making an ungodly racket, and some children playing, and so on and so forth. I am looking at some rather picturesque blue skies over this fine city that is my second home. This is the Vicario Show on SLE Radio. I am so much ahead of my schedule in terms of the time that passes between the recording and the actual airing of the show. This is coming out on June 9th, if I am not completely mistaken, and I'm recording this at the tail end of May. So if the whole world is turned upside down during the 2 weeks that we have still to live through, and I am frightfully sorry, but there's absolutely nothing I can do about that. Well, on to music. I've got a great show coming right now, I hope, at least in terms of music. Whoever knows what will happen with me in between. Certainly the third show was a bit of a struggle. I'm hoping this will be rather less so. The first song that we're going to listen to, I decided to make an exception. When I started planning the very first episode of the Jeff Vicario Show, I decided that I'm definitely not going to be playing my own music on it. I thought that would be rather weird, since this is ostensibly a review show, music review show. Then how am I going to review something that I made? But I'm going to make an exception with this next song. It is a remix of a Dark Matter Will Flow song called Emptiness. Now, the actual Emptiness song was released a while back in mid-May to rather positive reception from our audience, and because we felt that it was quite an interesting song for us and a bit of a departure, we thought, well, maybe we should have a remix done. And so we approached the one and only Safira V, who did an awesome remix of an Enola Gay song called no, I forget the title of that song. Anyway, Safira kindly agreed to do this remix of the song Weakness. And full disclosure, I have not listened to it, the final version of it before now. So as we listen to it, this is actually the first time I am hearing it as well. And this is also the official premiere of that song on this show. After we've listened to it, it will also become available on Bandcamp and YouTube and possibly some other places. But here we go. This is Emptiness, the Safira V remix from Dark Matter Will Flow.
If I could flip a switch to make my nightmares disappear, my synapses would misfire or slip a gear. If I could generate enough friction to relax, my nervous system would shut down or collapse.
That was Dark Matter Will Flow, Emptiness, the Saphira V remix, a world premiere as it happens. Well, it is quite an experience to hear a song you wrote completely turned upside down and sideways in every which way, like Saphira did there. I'm not ashamed to admit that I prefer that version to the original. Not that there's anything wrong with the original. In case you haven't heard it, you should definitely check it out just to compare to this one. That's a prime example of what somebody who has skills and a boundless imagination can do with your source material. It's really something else to hear, like, just to give you an example, during the second verse, the guitar that's playing in the background, that's actually the chorus guitar that Saphira somehow managed to fit behind the vocal melody of the verse, and it makes sense. I certainly didn't ever think that it would work like that, and that's one of those great things. I mean, I recognized obviously my vocals, Joe's vocals, who does the pre-chorus rap and sings background, the low background on the choruses. You recognize that, and I recognize my guitar parts. But other than that, I'm not even sure what's from the original stems of the song and what's completely new that the Saphira put together for this. But what a great remix. I enjoyed it immensely, and I'm not ashamed to have had that song play, even if I originally kind of decided to not play my own songs. But it occurred to me also that Dark Matter Will Flow is not just me, it's the four of us, Jeremiah, Craig, and Joe, and myself, and a revolving cast of collaborators like Creative Reader, Cecilia, Jane B, aka Fabia Brown, who's written lyrics for us, and Claire Estelle, who's on a forthcoming song. And, of course, various others that I hope will kind of... who even knows who we end up working with as this project moves forward. Anyway, that was a rare blast of Dark Matter Will Flow on this show. We are now moving on to the next artist. This next song actually almost got lost in the mess that is my inbox. I've had a flurry of emails with song submissions and other related emails in recent weeks, and had it not been for the artist herself contacting the station, not even me, but the station, regarding whether I'd received the submission, I would not probably have ever played this song, because I had read the mail but forgotten to listen to the song. And so Jay from SLE Radio got in touch with me and said, well, I hope you have paid attention, Jeff, because this is a great artist and you should definitely check it out. And so I did yesterday. I listened to her submission, and the artist that I'm talking about is called Rola. I hope I pronounced that right. It's always that thing of you could actually like make sure you don't fudge your words on the show as you're recording it. But yes, Rola is the artist's name. She has 2 other songs out on all the streaming platforms. They're called Worth and Guilty. But this is a 3rd song, a new song. I think it is called How Sweet, and I adore this. This is a great song, and we're gonna listen to it right now.
Shorty them in glory days. We had a two-step on in that old cafe. I was all choked up and had nothing to say. But after Alizé, I made my play. She waved, gave her an eye. I said hi, I took a cell, I dialed. Now the area code, I hit 40-1330. Something like, oh. She got her two-step on, I got my two-step on. Word is born, I got my two-step on. And we'll keep adding on to our story ways. Life for memories and all one day. One step, two-step the night away. Add a third step, I'm willing today to go and show her how sweet it is. Word from bliss, word to our unborn kids. Yeah, yo, I got nothing to lose, I got nothing to prove. I got nothing but time, I got no one but you. And you got me too, so let's unite as one. Foundation, how a good time begun.
That was Rolla with How Sweet on SLE Radio. This is the Jeff Vicario Show. I wish I heard music like that more often. I'll be the first to admit that modern R&B is not exactly my favorite genre of music. Well, let's not get into the negatives of it. Let's go with the positive. This was a perfect, timeless, very, very well written, well arranged, well recorded song. I cannot think of anything negative to say about it whatsoever. I marvel at the technical ability of this singer. To have that level of control where the vibrato is perfect and it's layered, and each sort of curve, however you sort of describe vibrato, it just sounds so perfect and nice. And it's the rhythm of it is great. Whether that's real instrumentation underneath it, whether it's a loop, it doesn't matter. It just kind of flows and makes you feel good. It's like the perfect summer single. So, you know, I'm happy to be playing it right at the cusp of summer. Well, actually, again, this is coming out in later in June, so it's probably a full-blown summer wherever you may be residing, at least in the Western Hemisphere. I digress, as I sometimes do on this show. That was great. I mean, the singing it came across as honest, not affected at all. There's none of that sort of like showing off that I sometimes find a bit grating when I listen to R&B, on the rare occasions that I listen to it, where there's a lot of showing off going on. But this singer, she just... Rolla, I love your voice. You did a marvelous job there, and I will definitely check out everything that you released so far, and do send me everything you ever release from this moment onwards. Everybody go out and check her out. That was a beautiful song. It was called How Sweet, and it was by Rolla. Before we move on to the next artist, the next song, a quick reminder that if you want your music played on this show, you can send me a song or a link to a song or songs at jeffvicarioshow@gmail.com. That is jeffvicarioshow@gmail.com. I do try to answer every email that I get, but I must confess again that my inbox is a hot mess. I have no prior experience with anything resembling radio or broadcasting. It's one thing to sit here in beautiful weather and talk whatever comes off the top of my head, and then listening to some great music. But there's also a lot of other stuff that I am kind of figuring out, flying by the seat of my pants. As the saying goes, all of the organizing and making sure, what I play, when I play, informing the artists and so on and so forth. So bear with me, I am learning, but it may take some time before this becomes like a well-oiled machine, or it's entirely possible that never happens. The next artist that we're going to listen to is one of my absolute all-time favorites. Yes, I'm not exaggerating at all. And also, you may be noticing a theme to this show. I generally don't do themes, except, like under the overarching umbrella of indie music. But there is a bit of a theme here, but I'm not going to tell you what it is. Try to figure it out for yourselves. The next artist that we're going to listen to is none other than Plike. That is to say, the project, band, group, whatever you want to call it, formed by the incomparable M. Baker, whom I've had the honor of working with on a project called Enola Gay, along with Joe, my bandmate from Dark Matter and various other things. And we're now going to listen to a song from M's most recent record called De Anima, and this song is called Strange Melancholy on sleradio.com. perfection in musical form there from the one and only Mad Madam M, aka Plike. Possibly the single most talented writer, producer, arranger, and all-around awesome human being that I've ever met in my life. I am proud and happy to call her a personal friend, as well as one of my favorite artists. Nothing is more thrilling than actually meeting somebody you admire greatly, and then it turns out that they're just another regular human being who just happens to be insanely talented. That's the kind of stuff you hear on the Jeff Vicario Show on SLE Radio. I have to actually remind myself again here that the song that remind you, the listener, as well, that the song that you're hearing in the background right now, that piece of music, that is a Black Distortion song called Aware, which I wrote late last year, and it was directly influenced by this record by Plike. The record is called The Anima, and that was my favorite song off of it. The kind of spacious, the style of writing that's going on underneath all this talk, that was directly influenced by her and other great artists like Unknown Land and Shel Dooley. So, what comes around goes around, and what else is there to say about that song? It was just a marvelous, beautiful, timeless, from start to finish. You just kind of listen to it and take it all in, and you kind of bow down before its greatness. Like you are amazing. And actually, I think I am not incorrect in saying that a new Plike album is in the works, and it's coming. So be on the lookout for that. I have no idea when it's being released, but I do know that she is working on it. So, yes. Let's move on to the next artist. But before we do that, a reminder. SLE Radio has a Kickstarter campaign that started in May, and it's ongoing until early July. So go over to Kickstarter and find us there, SLE Radio, and do contribute if at all you have a chance to do so. I think we're doing important work as a station in, providing a platform for independent artists to have their music heard and to have more exposure. We're a station, I guess, for the artists, by the artists. I am certainly part of the indie artist community myself. And so it would mean a great deal to us if you were to be able to help us out a little. Because even though we all do this for the love of music, there are certain costs associated with running a station, and I'm sure that Jay and others who are actually in charge of this operation would really appreciate your help. So, if at all possible, head over to Kickstarter and make a contribution. Could be as small as you like. Every little bit helps. Anyway, let's move on to the next song. It is by an Italian artist called Still Life with Cat. Now, they are an artist, a group that I've been aware of for some time. They had a very intriguing name. It's those cats, pesky cats. Whenever they are mentioned, I just want to know what the hell is going on. And Still Life with Cat was just a I'm not going to say the word. This is a clean show, or at least it attempts to be a clean show. This song that we're going to listen to, well, I was kind of torn. Maybe I should play something else from their awesome album, but this is just such a great song and my favorite song by them that I just had to do it. This is a song called Pure Blow. It's from their album Mega Dream. This is Still Life with Cat.
There are two things that don't have to mean anything. One is music and the other is laughter.
That was Still Life with Cats with Pure Blow. I confess I have no idea what that song is about. And I don't care, whether it's about the kind of blow that Colombians specialize in or something else. It doesn't matter. That was, yes, Still Life with Cat from Italy. They describe themselves as an alternative musical project, and I would say that is alternative in the truest sense of the word, in that they are completely unafraid to just go wherever their musical muse or whatever it is that drives them, directs them. I get confused with my words. That was that is and remains one of my all-time favorite songs by anybody. It's not often that you hear something that just sort of manages to merge just about everything that you like about music into a single song. The beautiful harmony singing, the mood shifts within the song, and yet it's still it's recognizably a brilliant pop song. But there's all these little, like almost proggy elements going on there. It kind of pleasantly reminds me of Steven Wilson's solo work, except, somewhat better, to be honest. Much as I adore Steven Wilson as well, I find that his songwriting sometimes is a little bit lacking, but don't execute me for saying that. That's just my personal opinion. That's a 10 out of 10 song for me. I find that it is soothing and exhilarating all at the same time. And in case you're wondering, that is indeed a continuation of the theme of this show, but I'm still not going to tell you what that theme is. If you've already figured it out, you can send me a postcard and basically just stick it in a bottle and throw it in the nearest ocean, and it is just about as likely to find its way to me as whether if I read out my address here, because, that was confusing. Let's move on to the next artist. But before we do that, a quick reminder that if you want your music played on this show, send me an email at jeffvicarioshow@gmail.com. That is jeffvicarioshow@gmail.com. And I might actually even answer you. That's a weird way of apologizing that it does tend to take me almost a week, sometimes longer, to reply, but I do try to reply to every single mail that I get. Okay, the next artist is an amazing talent out of San Jose, California. I first heard her music, like most of the music that you've heard on this show thus far, whether in this episode or any of the previous ones. They are all artists that I've been exposed to in the last 6 to 7 months, that I've been active on Twitter, on the Twitter indie community, and the artist's name, without further ado, is AP Tobler. She is a one-woman whirlwind, as one of the single most talented artists, young artists, or artists of any age that I've come across. I first heard her just by accident. I think the song was either Love, Hate or Stingray, but we're now going to hear a brand new song from her. Although I suspect this will already have been out for a while by the time you hear this. But I just received this submission from her, and I'm so proud and honored to be able to play it for you now. This song is from AP Tobler, and it's called Lazy Eye.
In the back of my head, the crow's cries fill me with dread. These twisted reins wrap around my throat like a
A.P. Tobler and A Lazy Eye. Well, that had some nice sort of throwback 90s, early 90s vibes. Kind of like listening to a more coherent Scott Weiland or someone. Very nice songwriting there. Nice mood shift from the verse to the chorus, sort of classic, kind of that grunge dynamic, but not in an obnoxious way. I really enjoy her singing. I would especially want to highlight the lyrics, which are really great, sort of evocative of something I'm not. I might have mentioned earlier in an earlier show that I don't pay much attention to them, but this time I was actually kind of listening that she does have a way with words. Supremely talented young artist from San Jose, California. I'll look forward to hearing more from her in the future. I cannot resist saying this, and I know I've told this before AP, but you are a much more talented artist than your dear idol, Dave Grohl. Certainly, the sort of more bloated classic rock version of the Foo Fighters is kind of anathema to what you're doing, which is vital, energetic, and exciting and fun. Even when it's kind of plowing a more sort of melancholy field, if that makes sense. I'm not very good with these analogies or similes or anagrams or whatever the hell they are. But that was a great song by a great artist, and yeah, look forward to hearing more from you in the future. Do send me everything you ever do, and I will play it. Continuing with the theme of the show, which I'm still not gonna reveal, we shall now move on to the next artist. Next up, we have an artist that has actually been featured on the show already, not as the main artist, but as the remixer. I am, of course, talking about the incomparable Safira V, from whom we're now going to be listening to a song called Too Many. And without further ado, let's listen to the song. But before we do that, just a reminder that if you want your music to be heard on the show, the Jeff Vicario Show on SLE Radio, send me an email, jeffvicarioshow@gmail.com. That is jeffvicarioshow@gmail.com. Now, Safira V with Too Many from her album My Game. Safira V there with Too Many. Oh, well, that was just tight as hell. Just insistent, that beat will just not let up. I love that super tight bass that just drives the song, and the beat that, it's, I love that sort of minimalistic, almost minimalistic, full-on electro thing. But then there was that great guitar hook embedded there as well. So many cool elements about that song, and the singing, just that sort of hesitancy, but also, oozing with a certain self-confidence that it's like, get out of the way, I'm gonna plow through this brick wall or whatever the hell it is that's standing in front of me. That was just music to sort of, if one of these days I'm gonna take up jogging again, whether my back and old man legs can take it, that's going on my running playlist. Great song. Marvelous production there, but that was to be expected from Safira. And I think, if I'm not completely wrong, the amazingly named and amazingly talented Wave Doctor was the guy who mixed that, and it sounds killer. Just awesome. I don't know if you can dance to that, but I'd love to dance to it if I danced in the first place, but this is just one of those Jeff Vicario inserts that makes zero sense whatsoever. Great work, Safira. I have to just admit that it kept getting better and better, At first, you listen to it and you're kind of drawn in, and then by the end, you're just like, I hope this song never ends. What a great song. And perfectly continuing our mystery theme, the mystery theme of the Jeff Vicario Show on this fine, I think it's gone afternoon now over here in Finland where I'm recording this. Clear blue skies with some clouds. Birds in the background. Oh, is that a bee? I think that's a bee. Don't sting me. Okay, let's move on to the next song, but before we do that, a reminder, SLE Radio Kickstarter, go check it out. Support the station, that is by the artists, for the artists. We are all about supporting the indie community. And if you support the station, you essentially support yourself. Yes, okay, moving on. Now, from the start, there's been a disturbing lack of hard rock on this show. Why is that? I don't know. Maybe I am too much enamored by my own comings and goings, toings and froings in the electro community. I've been working with some awesome synthwave guys myself, and maybe the Twitter algorithm only shows my tweets to the, shall we say, non-hard rocky side of the indie community, because I'm pretty damn sure there are tons of metal and hard rock bands out there that would love to be on this show. And if not, well, that's their loss, I guess. But if any of you hard rock and metal guys and girls and grandmas and grandpas are listening to this and you have some music that you want to send me, well, send it to me at jeffvicarioshow@gmail.com. And if you rock, then I'm gonna play you. Oh, that's a really nice segue into the next artist that we're gonna listen to, and they're called Di Benedetta. Now, who is that, you might ask? I did not know either, and I probably should have. But let's listen to the song first, and then come back and talk about it. Now, I must admit, I was a little bit hasty in my introduction of this band and song. I am sorry. Let's try to do better from now on. That was Di Benedetta with a song called Echoes from their album Shadows, which was released on May 1st of this year. And Di Benedetta, the group, was formed by a former guitarist of the multi-platinum bluesy hard rocker Cinderella, and his name is Barry Benedetta, and he's joined in this group by the amazing Canadian vocalist Shimmer Johnson, whose voice we just heard on that song, which, pardon the pun, had some pleasant echoes of Tool in the mix of its modern, punchy hard rock sound. Now, I have a very strong affinity for all things hard rock and metal, so it's always great to hear that. And in a way that kind of pushes the boundaries a little bit, rather than just repeat the same old formula, which quite a few bands seem content in doing these days. Iron Maiden. But let's not go there. I love the electronic elements in the song that creep up here and there. This band is clearly unafraid to go in uncharted territories with their music. This is music clearly by a guitar player, but it does not succumb to stereotypical, guitar wankery, which is always great. Playing for the song and all that good stuff that you need. I believe I will be playing some more songs from this artist in future broadcasts, so be on the lookout for that. Again, that was Di Benedetta and the song called Echoes. Their album is called Shadows, and it is out now. Do check them out at your streaming services of choice and in physical stores, wherever they may or may not exist in this world, in this day and age. So now, before we move on, I will divulge the mystery theme of this show, which is not much of a mystery at all if you've been listening to this from the start. Thus far, every single song that we've heard has been either by or an amazing female artist, or has been a remix by an amazing female artist, or by a band fronted by an amazing female artist. Now, that was not by design. I do think that it should be redundant in this day and age to have to refer to an artist as a quote-unquote female artist. That is kind of stupid, but there you have it. I think it's still worthwhile to shine a light on how amazing, kick-ass, talented, awesome, fiercely independent these artists are that we've heard on this show now. And I very much look forward to playing their music on future episode as well. Now, moving on, the next artist that we're going to listen to is one of the synthwave brethren that I've become more and more familiar with in recent times. The artist is called A New Hope, and the old Star Wars fanboy in me is delighted to announce that the name of his song is called Star Destroyer. that was A New Hope with a song called Star Destroyer. Now I have to clarify that Star Wars remark in the introduction did in no way insinuate that this song actually has anything to do with Star Wars. In fact, it's a whole other separate story that A New Hope has come up with, and I have been informed that a sequel also exists, but has not been released yet. But what to say about this wonderful piece of dreamy retro wave from Italy, except that I really enjoyed it. It's another example of the limitless creativity and sense of imagination that the synthwave community has. Each artist seemingly similar, but utterly different to the next one. I am very much looking forward to hearing the sequel to this song whenever it comes out. I guess I will have to say that... Well, no, let's not talk about Star Wars. It has nothing to do with this. So, that was a great song from A New Hope. It was called Star Destroyer. Check it out on Spotify and elsewhere. It is out now. This is the Jeff Vicario Show on SLE Radio. I don't think I've said that too many times in this show. It's still rather nice weather here in southern Finland, in the capital of Helsinki. I am on my balcony, looking at the sky and wondering, what the hell am I talking about? Next up, we have an artist that who appeared rather confusingly Spanish to me on first when I was first introduced to him. It then turned out that it was just an expat posing as a Spaniard. I am, of course, talking about Timeza Lab Music. And if I mispronounce that, then deal with it. We're now going to hear his latest song, which is called Sunbeam Boulevard. It has been out for a while now, but I've actually been itching to play it on this show. I did consider playing one of the earlier songs, Luciano's Anchor or something, which is actually probably my favorite song from Timeza. How do you pronounce that? Don't tell me. Keep me in suspense. But yes, we're going to listen to Sunbeam Boulevard now from that artist that I just mentioned. On the Jeff Vicario Show on SLE Radio. Chimeza Lab music there with Sunbeam Boulevard. Well, that was a perfect soundtrack to a somewhat anxious stroll by the seaside. Because we don't do pleasant here in Finland. Well, seriously speaking, Chimeza Lab music, he's a sonic architect of our times. Every sound, every beat, every nuance is exactly where it should be in the soundscape. The ambience sounds, whether they're created by actual recordings in wherever it is in Spain that he resides, or whether by electronic means, well, it doesn't matter. That perfectly fitting kind of like, that's just more music to just immerse yourself in and just let it wash over you. And then when it's over, you're wondering, well, was that 2 minutes or 10 minutes? Does it matter? No. I adored that guitar work. I don't know who played it, but if it was you, kudos to you. That was some of the best kind of Mark Knopfler-esque beautiful phrasing on the guitar. I wish I could play like that. Alas, I can't, so I just blame. English is not my first language. I play what I play. It is kind of bluesy, boring hard rock, but that was just beautiful. Gorgeous music. Oh, thank you so much for letting me play it on my show. I can say with confidence that was not the last time that you will hear this particular artist on the Jeff Vicario Show on SLE Radio every Tuesday at 2 p.m. I hope I am still on 2 weeks from now, because who knows what happens in this crazy world of ours where some idiots do stupid things. Well, I am hopefully not one of them. You, my dear listener, certainly are not, because you're listening to this show despite me talking about some really odd things now and again. Okay, moving on. We have a couple more songs to play for you. Now, these are personal faves. I actually approached both artists that we are still yet to hear, whether they'd be amenable to having me play their music on the show, and luckily they both said yes. First off, we're gonna hear from the funk master himself, Swayze. You have to love that artist name. I mean, Swayze. Come on, Swayze. It's gotta be good. From the moment I first saw his profile pic on Twitter, and then even before I heard the music, I knew I was just gonna love this. And I was right. This next song that we're gonna listen to is his latest release. It's called Sidewalk, and it is by Swayze. Yes, Swayze.
All I ever want is a nice girl to come along.
telling me to stay clear. And then you show up on a Friday night, you're wearing that dress so dear. And I can't think straight, cause your body's moving. And then you whisper into my ear, hey, come here, meet my boyfriend. Oh my God, I think she might be the one. Wait, what? Hold on. Oh, what you mean you don't like the songs? No, oh no, this is my fall apart. You're as hard to read as a book at night, so come on, baby, shout to life. You know it ain't right, but you know it ain't quite wrong. Look me in the eyes, you're leading my heart on. Why you doing you? All I ever want is an after come along. I thought that you might be the one. I think you might really tell me. You know it's on my mind, frankly it's all the time. I wondered if you are mine, won't you just give me some kind of sign? True love is on the left, heartbreak is on the right. I don't even care, it's time, so come on baby and pick a side. Don't you try to walk all over my Sunday, you just gotta go. If you're nothing but top of you, son, I won't be frowning, waking up on my Monday, knowing we're both alone. If you're nothing but top of you, son, if you're nothing but talk, then use the sidewalk, get out of my lane. If you think I'm insane, if you wanna carpool, that's cool. But if you're acting like a child, I'm gonna drop you out at school. Oh, that's sexy. Here we go. Ha, 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 ha.
Welcome to Party Central, Helsinki, Finland. Come on. Almost swore there. That was such a great song from Swayze. Come on, say it with me. Swayze. The best band name, artist name ever by anyone. And what a great song. It's like the best Prince, Jamiroquai, whatever the hell you want song all rolled into one. It's like a massive number one hit from a bygone era. Or the future, or the present. Again, I so wish that these artists would be as massive and hugely popular as they deserve to be. You know what? That is exactly the type of music that on principle I don't even that much enjoy. But I love that. I am not kidding. I'm not lying. I'm telling you the absolute truth. It was such a... Oops, I had a recording glitch there. That was an absolutely marvelous, brilliant song, perfectly encapsulating this sort of freewheeling, awesome, positive vibe that you need to get when you get out there and like try to deal with the world and all the craziness and everything that's wrong. Then, you know, put that in your earphones and go stroll down the sidewalk in social distance. And I don't know, I'm going a little bit nuts here. It's nearing the end of this recording anyway, so it's perfectly fine that I go a little bit nuts. That was Swayze with Sidewalk. Do listen to it again. Go follow him wherever you can find him on Twitter. On Twitter, he's Swayze Funk. Damn, that was a great song. Such a great song. Oh, how am I going to follow that? On the Jeff Vicario Show on SLE Radio. Oh, yeah. Well, one more song, and then I'm going to be out of your hair for the next week. But do check out all the previous episodes, including this one. After the premiere, they will be uploaded to Mixcloud. You can find me on Mixcloud as Jeff Vicario. I will also be providing all the necessary links when I promote this on Twitter. The next artist is a bit of a fearful proposition. They make such scary and beautiful and awesome music. They're called Gravity Gun. Now, their album Soft Machine was among my very, very favorite records by anyone last year. I don't know if it came out last year, but it was last year that I heard it. I loved it, and this is my favorite song off of it. This song inspired me so much, so much. I mean, I hear its influence in so many songs that I've written in the last 6 months, and it is such an amazing piece of music. Listen to it. Just listen to it. This is Gravity Gun from their Soft Machine album, and the song is called Harvest Man. Gravity Gun with Harvestman. Now, please tell me you thought that song was insane and insanely great. If you disagree with me, you're just gonna have to come and, I'm not gonna be friends with you anymore. Just kidding. Jeff Vicario here. Yeah, tail end of the show, tail end of the broadcast. Oh, what a... Just the bass kicks in, and then there's that crazy synth line, and then an even crazier one, which is kind of like the chorus, and I'm like bouncing off the walls in my little universe here, microcosm in collapse or whatever the hell. Oh, kind of like the polar opposite of the Swayze thing, where it's just like positive, funk it up, have a good time, and then this one is like it's still commanding me to move, but kind of in a like, where do you move with music like that? Oh, I'm incoherent, but I'm so in love with that song. Every time I hear it, it's like, this is the best piece of music. This is the purest form of electronic. It's music that I've heard. I mean, scary, beautiful, perfectly produced. Just everything in it is in its right place. I love that. That was Gravity Gun with Harvestman. That entire record, Soft Machine, is brilliant, but that's the song for me. They have released materials this year as well, if I remember correctly, and I will be playing their songs on this show later, on a future episode, but that was such a great way to end this slightly hectic, slightly weird show. I probably was not in my best form, but then what does that matter? This speech is just, incidental, and the music is what counts. I believe we heard some great music, and I hope that you, the listener, heard something that you hadn't heard before, found it interesting, and perhaps went out there and investigated further. As always, support the artists that you listen to here on this show. Go find them on your streaming service of choice on Bandcamp. It costs you a grand total of nothing to listen to a song by any of these artists.